Gunnar Thompson, Alex Simpson here with Oat Specialties. Today we're going to talk about the Donley Hip Spin. We get a lot of questions about how to put the device on, so we're going to show you how to actually put it on in a comfortable manner. And the other thing is, there's a few tips that I've learned from some other coaches on how to actually use the device. And so I'll show it to you. It doesn't mean that it'll work for you or your players necessarily, or you yourself as an athlete. But it's something that I think you might want to consider trying and something that might help you. So first, let's start with actually putting it on comfortably. He's going to take the strap and he's going to cinch it really, really tight on his upper thigh. Obviously, we're not restricting the blood flow here, but we do want it snug. Okay? He wants to make sure that it starts in the outer position. This gives him the freedom to actually resist and assist in a lot easier of a manner. Okay? He's going to go ahead, he's going to find his waistband, and you're going to hold it up just above the waistband, and now he can rotate any way he wants, because depending on the way that he rotates will actually determine if we're resisting movement or if we're assisting movement. So Alex, will you go ahead? Okay, you can see here that he just holds it, and now that it's actually, hold right there, now that it's actually overlapped, he doesn't have to hold it anymore. He can let go, and now it's actually cinched pretty tight on him. It's secure, and meanwhile, he still has that on the actual hip itself. Okay? So in this position right here, he's a right-handed hitter and a thrower as well, so we're actually in an assisted movement. Okay? So this really starts where we start doing things a little bit different. Okay, so you can be behind him, just like this. Okay? Go ahead and grab a bat, would you? All right, so he's about to take a swing here. Good. Okay, go ahead and take another one. All right. Now, as you can tell, the band is actually pulling his hips through and just kind of aiding him in that. Now, depending on how far you reach or how close you are will depend upon the resistance that you actually aid him in, okay? Now, you can be behind him, like I said. You can also be in front. Okay, go ahead. Good. One more. Good. Okay, as you saw there, I'm in front of him. Now, here's another one that is a little trick. Okay, so we were in back behind and we were in front. Now here's a little bit one too. So I'm actually going to be in front, but I'm going to be at an angle to him. I'm going to be actually in front of him and at like a 45-degree angle. Okay? Good. Okay. Now one thing that you might notice with your athletes, and again, this doesn't work with everyone, but since I'm actually pulling him forward a little bit, then that forces him to actually produce a counter movement, which is actually to get back and get into the hip a little bit more. So I've seen some coaches that have some athletes that are struggling to really get into their glutes and get that glute load. So they'll actually get in front of them a little bit so that the athlete themselves then has to make the change and be able to balance themselves. So that's assisting. Now he's going to go ahead and rotate the other way. And this is the beauty. It's so simple to be able to just quickly change from an assisted movement to a resisted movement. So now, since this is crossing him this way, the band is actually going to be resisting hip rotation. So this would be used for athletes that are trying to generate a little bit more power out of their hips and maybe train some of that glute med, which is responsible for that hip rotation. Okay, again, you can be behind them. Go ahead. Good. That's good. Just give one swing. Okay? Or we can be in front. Okay, good. So as you see there's a lot of variability and a lot of variations that you can use with this device. Again, if your guys are struggling or girls are struggling with some hip rotation, then this might be helpful.